Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Philip, Andre, great to be here another week here on the podcast of Mayo Agency. Great to see you both. As you all see, we have a special guest today. Specifically today, we'll be talking about business development. So I know this is going to be a big topic for a lot of you who are listening to us because we understand how business development is a crucial part of business growth. And we have Andre, who's actually a business development professional who's going to be giving us insights from his experience. So it's great to have you here, Andre. Also, as usual, Philip, great to see you, my friend, every week. And let's get the conversation going. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Philip, for having me. Looking forward to the talk.
Yes. Well,
Awesome.
I wanted to start off, Andre. So why don't you get to tell us a little bit? People who are listening don't know you. Me and Philip have had some conversations with you. Philip, right, as a friend of yours, and as you've known each other for a long time. I recently got to meet you, and we've had a few conversations. Tell the listeners more about your background and your experience specifically with the business development side.
Okay, so I've been in business development, let's say specifically in business development for the, let's say, past 20 years. I started doing business, specifically this business development, when I joined JGL, a pharmaceutical company from Croatia. And there I got the chance, to learn about business development, to be coached on the topic, to be coached by several companies, by several mentors, by several coaches. And I got, let's say, this broader idea of business development, because business development was, let's say, firstly, created just to hide the sales title, the sales word, because everybody was sick of sales. And, when we started doing this, I started to realize that business development is something completely different from sales. Sales is part of business development. It's not just that. It's part of marketing, but it's not just that. It's part of partnership, but not just that. Business development is a much wider topic, and business development is a very nice thing to do. It's a beautiful thing to do if you know how to do it, if you like it. Because it takes a specific person to do business development. You need a bigger outlook. You need a long-term outlook. You need a bigger picture of the market and the company you're working for. To be able to present that kind of project and to be successful in this. So my experience in, let's say, like I said before, I started in JGL. I got the, let's say, the duty to manage the expansion of operations in Middle East, and this helped me a lot. By doing this, I learned a lot how to do business development, how hard it is when you penetrating a completely cold market, for the product, for the brand or something like this, and how to do some upscaling of the business where you're already present in some market and you want to scale the business, not to save the business. So there's also business development has different roles in different stages of the company growth. So again, if you ask the startup guys, business development is hustle, nothing else. If you ask the sales guys, business development equals sales, no difference. So you have some depends who you're talking to, at what stage of the product and the company, and what's the end goal of the business development tasks.
Okay, interesting. How would you define business development? Like, how would you define it?
Yeah, for me, business development is the missing link between marketing and sales and partnerships. Somebody who is taking a look on the long-term impacts on the cooperation, but also has the complete picture of the, let's say, back end in mind of the company, the product, and also on the front end, so on the companies, on the partner side. Does the strategy fit? Do the long-term plans fit? Does the development and the, let's say, the direction of the development of the companies match? If it does, then we have good grounds to do good business development together.
Great, that's interesting. And so now that you've sort of defined it, I like that you were able to set it up with, right, the different ways people think about business development and then defining it. Now we go into what are some of the challenges, right? Because I think this is going to help a lot of people who are going to be listening, founders, maybe business development managers, or people who are in business development or looking to add somebody into their team. What are some of the challenges that you face, in business development, and how do you overcome them? So let's go through that.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is this short-term and long-term results. The company, or let's say companies or products, are maybe they want to do business development, they want to do it, but they want quick results. Business development is not focused on quick results, on quick wins. It's always a long-term win, a long-term relationship, and a win-win cooperation. This has to be the base of business development. If the partner company is not winning like you are, something is wrong, and it's not going to last for long. So, the long-term value should be the first point of, let's say, discussion when we are talking about business development. And this is something that needs to be explained and backed up by data, by research. So you need to, you need to fight internally in your company to explain the end goal of your efforts, but you need to also do the same with the client, and also engage them in the same way to do their homework, to do their, let's say, checks and business intelligence, so we can measure the data and we can see what we can do together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's
I have one question to add to that. In terms of your experience, which is quite long and extensive, what are and which strategies you would emphasize and the important ones in terms of roadmap and the steps how to proceed and establish business development and start with the activities?
First, we need to determine what we need. Do we want revenue? Do we want presence? Do we want brand awareness? What we need? What's the end goal? But again, business development needs to cover all of those things. We need to cover marketing, because business development is influencing marketing budget, is influencing sales forecasts, is influencing strategy of the company, it's influencing the direction of the company is taking. So business development needs to be very closely discussed with the management, but also needs to be scaled down to the whole company, so everybody knows what's the goal of those efforts.
Good point. I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, the problem is always, business development also can be like a peacekeeper between sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And I think that the idea of creating business development was to create this buffer between those two departments, because they're fighting with each other pretty often. So business development is here to keep the peace, to give the sales, okay, guys, for this month you need to do this and this and this. But with marketing, we can discuss, let's invest a little bit more in this market, because in 5 years we're going to be #1 brand in that name, in that market, when we combine the efforts from sales, marketing, and strategy.
Yeah, it's a devilish combo of several activities which helps you to position your company on the respectable market you are aiming for, and that's important. As you mentioned, one of the biggest challenges by default is companies require or wait for immediate results, because there are none. That won't be happening. It's a statistical error if that happens. It is a long-term plan and strategy which needs to be placed according to the plan and followed by through entire cycle of activities. So
yeah, it can happen if you have a patented product which is unique, which has unique, capabilities, or unique, let's say, unique, I don't know, some details about the product, about the service, which cannot be compared to anybody else on the market. Then, of course, the sales are going to come quick.
Yeah.
But again, you have to be prepared. What after that? What's going to happen after this? We need to do the SWOT analysis. You need to know the current state of the whole industry, the growth projections, the competitor developments, the primary source of sales and revenues, customer profiles. There's so much to do before that. Again, this has to engage the whole company.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so basically it's interesting. You're basically saying like the business developers are sort of like the glue.
Yeah,
they're like a glue, and they help have marketing and sales stick together and stay aligned to the right objectives.
Yeah,
so
and they direct their attention on specific departments depending on the stages and depending on the projects. So if you're in some development part, we are more in contact with let's say the project managers, with marketing, less with sales. When everything is done, then we are training the sales about this new, let's say, new product or new activity or new, let's say, new approach that we devised. And then we are training the sales and explaining them what's the end goal of their activities, of their efforts. So everything needs to be connected. Like you said, everything needs to be glued together, but the attention, the spotlight goes to that department, depending on the goal and on the stage of the project.
Interesting. And what advice would you give businesses that are looking to like improve their business development efforts?
First of all, have a clear picture of what you want to do. Sit down, write down the goals, and be sure that you are aware what you want to do, what are the deadlines, and what budgets do you have available. Then you can hire people, or you can upgrade somebody from sales or for something like this. But the first thing is always have a clear idea what you want to do. Do the research, do the due diligence, do the homework, business intelligence, get the data from every resource that you can, and then decide what would be your idea of developing your business. And what kind of partner are you looking for to help you do this on a specific market or industry segment?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so you have to be very clear and intentional with exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And like you said, there's a lot of factors that go into it: data, the market, your budget, like you said. Um, so yeah, I think that's some good advice. What do you think, Philip?
Yeah, absolutely. What I encountered in my activities and in business, as mentioned previously, the expectation of fast and immediate results, and also the business development is seen as sales, as you, Andre, mentioned. But that is not the same. And
No, that's
people
very
are
close.
mixing that up continuously.
No, they're not mixing. They're hiding sales titles behind business development titles. So this is the biggest problem, because if you just Google on LinkedIn business development manager or executive or something like this, you're gonna find so many people. And just go to their job description. There's not one business development tasks in their job description.
It's sales, a sales.
It's pure sales.
That's it. Yeah. I encountered that also. So yeah, you're completely right. And
and
I agree
and
on that.
Now that you're on that, Andre, I think that's interesting. I think it will be interesting for people to know. So in your mind, what would be like daily tasks of an efficient executing business development manager or person? What would be those tasks like daily that they should be focused on?
It's always the research, always information. You have to be hungry for information. You need to be, in line with the markets, with the new policies, new comments, new ideas, new ways of thinking. Because these are your partners, these are your future clients. This is something that's going to change the complete industry, and you would like to be part of that, or part of the change. So you need to be always, keep one ear to the ground and listen what's happening, what are the issues of your industry, of your clients. How can you resolve this? How can you direct the expansion, or let's say the development of the company, in the sense of covering those needs, and covering the needs of the complete market, and then expanding your business in this way. So always be aware what's going on, be aware what your company is doing. So be in line with the management, talk about them, about the strategy, just be part of the whole process, because this is what business development is. You're in one leg is on the client side, your other leg is on the company side, but you always have to keep your client's interest, because you're practically fighting for your clients, let's say, or partners conditions, or fighting for his let's say position in this partnership in the company. So you're representing the partner, you're representing the company. It's a very tricky position, but again, be aware of the information, be aware of the state of the industry, be aware of the competitor activities, be aware of the long-term plans and the long-term outlooks of the industry or the market you're playing with.
Wow, no, that's a good one. Yeah, I think that reminds me of like when in business, you have to maintain, like you said, you have to be aware of the changes so that you can maintain your positioning in the market. That's what it reminds me of. Like what you're saying is that the business developers are a key part of the business maintaining their position or dominance in the market if they have it.
Yes,
if they're looking to get there, they need those crucial business development people to help them get to that positioning by, like you said, being aware of the changes, being aware of the trends, being aware of where is the industry going, what are they focusing on right now. For example, we could put, like in my case, we deal with a lot of like pharmaceutical companies, and we're noticing that manufacturers are moving towards what? The trend is what? Digital transformation, Internet of Things, right? It's always like it's continuously going to be moving in that direction, automation, all of these things, and that digital transformation is constantly changing, and the ways you can do that is changing. So you have to be aware, if you're in that industry, on what those changes are and what are the new tools.
Of
so
course,
I
anticipate. You have to anticipate the changes, because if you anticipate some changes, you can be the first one on the market with this, let's say, new capability or new product feature or something like this already prepared. Exactly. So for example, we have this, let's say, this case with the upcoming Google third-party cookie ban. So we know this is going to be a huge impact on the digital industry, digital advertising industry, and so on. So what are the companies doing right now? They're taking some tools, they're taking some tools which they use to collect data. But what with the data? After this, you need to consolidate this data and then use it smartly after that. But why is nobody, let's say, thinking 2 steps ahead? Because when this ban is going to arrive, the only way that you're going to collect some data about your customer is gonna be when you pay them. So monetization of use. Nobody's proposing right now this let's say this solution. We have some, let's say, shy attempts by Generate or some other companies, but it's not like a main thought of the market, of the industry, and it should be, because this in the near future, this is going to be the only way that you're going to collect this data, that you're going to be able to personalize the communication and achieve the result that you want to achieve.
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh, I like that. I mean,
I
think we got one last question, right, Philip? We got the last question, and it's basically, I think this is a more personal one for you, Andrej. So we wanted to end it on a personal note for you. So it's basically, what is your proudest? So this is the key word, proudest, not necessarily the biggest, not necessarily the most impactful, but what is the proudest accomplishment you've had in your business development career so far?
I can say maybe the combination of this, let's say, first business development job that I had in JGL, because I successfully penetrated the Middle East market, which is pretty hard to do if you're not a local person. So when you're doing it practically remotely, visiting the market 2 or 3 times per year and doing it in, let's say, less than a year, it was a success for me, and I was very happy with this, with the relationships that I managed to create, and to this day they're still active. Even though I'm not in the same industry, I'm still in touch with those people, and this is also a big part of business development. This personal connection. You need this personal connection with the person on the other side, because this person is gonna tell you, in his mind, what's the end goal of his company, how he understands, the goal of this corporation. Not the presentation, not the slides, not the brochure or something like this. Let's talk frankly and directly. And the other one was the project which I was doing with Push Go, my last company. Again, the same, complete penetration in the cold market. We achieved, I think we managed to collect more than 40 clients in less than 10 months.
Nice.
By doing the business development.
That is strong.
Yeah, that's a strong number, But with this, with the way of working that I explained a little bit, before, it took some time. But when we did all the preparation work, the clients kept coming in a very, let's say, very fast, and they were prepared, and they were informed about the potential cooperation, what is going to bring to them when they're going to start with us. So I was happy with the flow of tasks and the end result of those campaigns.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Great moments.
Nice numbers and great strong results. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of hand on to that, which Andrej mentioned. We are constantly mentioning that the strength of network and mutual help and support in business. That is fundamentals. That is one important element inside the puzzle, which helps you strive. Not only you, but your team, your company, and all involved, meaning friends, partners, and other ventures and activities which are an integral part of entire ecosystem.
Yeah, because the industry is moving very fast. This is a fast, let's say, industry that we're working in right now. This is the digital advertising or agencies or something like this, and the literature is always late. So when you talk to somebody, you got the fresh information, which is you can use it right now. You can use it in the next 10 days. It's not something that you can maybe base your future projects on, because this is some historical data. If you have a good connection, if you have a good network, you have many sources. You can compare the information and get to some conclusions, which are supported by better and more detailed information.
Yeah. The direct information from the trenches.
Yeah, from the market.
And you have it immediately in your hands, and you can utilize it immediately with your clients and customers, help them grow and scale whatever needed and planned. That's it.
If you wait for the book, it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's too late.
It's already gone. And
it's 20 companies are doing the same, because everybody is looking for some new way, new source, new let's say magic recipe to make business development work. But it's always case by case, market by market, and person by person, because I'm not doing the business development the same way that Filip is doing it. Giovanni is not doing it the same way that Filip is doing it, and so on. So it's always about how you're going to connect with this person, on what level are you going to be open enough, to get to know this person and how this person they looks like, and then you can talk a little bit more about what the companies are trying to achieve, and are we a match or not.
Yeah, I
agree.
Absolutely agree.
No, very interesting conversation. No, I mean that's it. I don't know if you have any closing statements, Filip, and then we'll go with Andrej and we'll finish it off.
At this point, no. Andrej said it all. So yeah, it's clear. Nothing to add there.
Thank you. No, for me, would be, the closing statement would be business development is not sales. It will never be sales, and it shouldn't be sales. And, if you're going to advertise for a business development position, be sure that you're asking, that you are ready for a business developer to come to your company, and that you are prepared for developing the business, not saving the business. It's a completely different, let's say, persona that you need. Just be sure that you have a clear vision. What's the goal? What are the capabilities? And what kind of data are we basing our opinions and strategies on?
Yeah, and the right person.
Yeah. Because like you said, that's gonna be the glue. That's gonna be the person that's gonna allow you to unite, right? Marketing, sales, the partnerships, and like you said, I think you mentioned something earlier indirectly. That person is gonna be a wizard of making those personal connections so that people open up and give you the crucial information that could change the direction of the business or could open up that door of opportunity that you didn't realize. But that person helps you open up those doors if they're the right person. So yeah, I think that a great conversation, Andrej. Thank you for coming, for having this conversation with us. And yeah, it was a pleasure, my friend. It was great to catch up with you and hear more about the business development side.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you. And of course, if you want to discuss more on this topic, I'm always available.
Awesome, Andrej. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.